when I think back to where we left off in the summer, what major thing has happened? I can think of a bunch of them. Let's start with we've got this little thing coming up in a few days, the Canadian election.
Yeah.
So there's been an election called. I've seen a bit of commentary from you on Twitter. I think you listened to a debate around agriculture. Tell me what your impression is of the top issues. Are the top issues even being dealt with in the election? Are they on the table? And give me your sense of the election from a food industry perspective so far.
Well, often, I mean, people actually are disappointed by the fact that agriculture or agri-food doesn't get a whole lot of attention during a campaign. And frankly, uh, in 35 days, you have so much to cover. My expectations are frankly very low. I don't know what your expectations are,
Mm.
Michael, but my expectations are often very low. But we've heard the terms like food inflation, food autonomy, food sovereignty. And if you look at all of the major platforms out there offered to Canadians, actually all major parties do have thought about agriculture, agri-food in light of what has happened in the last 18 months. In fact, actually, in some parties are actually advertising, talking about food or food inflation. In fact, by one party in particular is using some of our data at the lab. They're not stating the lab per se, but they're stating a media which has reported on our data, which is interesting. But overall, I think the cost of living is top of mind for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. I mean, of course, there is food. Food is a necessity of life, but there's also lodging. I think a lot of people are concerned about access to properties, and of course that does impact your prospect as an adult moving forward when you start a career. And I can see it with my students at the university. I mean, right now I'm back on campus teaching in front of human beings, my food
That's
policy class, which
that's
is
great.
great.
You called
However,
that you called that once a candy of a course, right? It's one of your favorite things to do. So
oh
I,
yeah.
I wanted to. I saw the picture of you getting ready for your first day at school. I almost imagine you with a little lunchbox or something. But um,
Yeah, wait.
it's great. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
great
no,
to see it.
and of course I'm teaching in front of students with masks and everything. But listen, it's a little compromise. It's not much, but I do talk to students before and after class about their careers, and I mean there's some fog out there. I mean there's some uncertainty out
Mm,
there in terms of
mm,
what they're looking for, and they are renting, most of them, and they're not sure exactly what's going to happen with their careers and how they can afford to live moving forward. So
mm,
I think it really, in my mind, I think food inflation has attracted a lot of attention even during debates. So we'll see how things go next week.
Yep.
I'm hoping that the outcome will serve Canadians well. We don't know what the outcome is going to be.
mm,
My only concern was the English debate. I'm not entirely convinced that the format really helped
mm.
Canadians better
No.
understand what parties have to offer. It was more about bickering and allowing moderators to really dictate the pace. I don't know. Did you watch the debate, Michael?
Yeah, I watched it start to finish. Actually, I'm a big fan of political debates. I always remember that some moments that make or break elections. If you remember the John Turner, Brian Mulroney, you had an option moment. Like
Yeah.
sometimes there's big moments in debates, sometimes less so, but there's only one debate, so bring it. I was impressed by a couple of the leaders who I just frankly didn't know at all. Their composure,
And I mean,
um,
Paul is one
and
I was impressed
yeah,
with,
I think if you had to pick a leader who
who had a
for me,
moment.
yeah, she had a moment. I knew nothing. I literally knew a little bit, but I probably knew more negative stuff, the dissension in the party, but I didn't really understand her as a person, and she was a very
Well,
impressive
the
person there.
party's a mess, but she's a pretty strong leader. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in the party. That's for another podcast. But and then the format just didn't feel like a debate to me. I don't know what it felt like, but I think it was sniping and anyway, it wasn't great. I didn't think it helped me really think through some of the issues. It surfaced a few,
Well, for the
just
prime
on
minister, for
leadership.
example, his role was to defend his track record and as prime minister, and he just he just didn't have a chance, really.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so it
and
was.
what I thought, you're absolutely right. What I thought is one of the biggest issues of the campaign is the fact that there's a campaign to begin with, right?
Yes.
Why did you call an election? And that I thought was the issue that, he's already, as an incumbent, stepping forward on a very weak platform, because like, okay, why'd you call an election? Why did we need to be doing this, other than
Yeah.
you wanted to you as a politician saw your opportunity perhaps to go for, you know a majority because of your handling of the pandemic and other issues, but I'm not sure it's going to work out for him.
I gotta tell you, Michael, I'm shocked that both the Liberals and Conservatives are in a deadlock, given the fact that Mr. Trudeau has been campaigning for 18 months steady,
Yeah,
giving
yeah,
away more than $400 billion. And
yeah.
he was on our screens every day almost
Yeah.
for 18
And
months. And still, we're looking at a deadlock. It's
well,
incredible. I'm shocked.
yeah. Well, it's the Churchill phenomenon. If you think back to just post Second World War, Churchill won the war but lost the election. He
Yeah.
was booted out in 1946 as the economy ravaged London. So anyway, so listen,
He did
let
win a Nobel afterwards, so that's a
right.
vindication for him. I'm not sure Trudeau actually has the capacity to
Mm,
win the Nobel in
yeah, I
literature
don't think so.
of
Yeah,
all Nobels.
yeah, I don't think so.